Here's everything we spotted in the Mandalorian Season 2 trailer. In a year as profoundly awful as 2020, the world is in dire need of some healing, but thankfully on Tuesday morning, Star Wars fans all over the world opened their windows and in unison shouted one singular phrase into the ether.
I would like to see the baby.
And lo and behold, their prayers were answered in the form of the first trailer for The Mandalorian Season 2, which debuts on Disney Plus on October 30th. Now, the brief trailer shows off Din Djarin and the wee baby Yoda on the run from all sorts of thugs, goons, baddies, and ne'er-do-wells who want to put the child in Moff Gideon's Mitt Gideon's. And while the trailer was relatively spoiler-free, there's still plenty of details into which we can sink our teeth, like Baby Yoda chomping into a nice juicy frog. So look, our trailer breakdown will inevitably include speculation, but if we are right about some of these things, well, that could be considered a spoiler. So if you're worried about that sort of thing, I don't know, go fix yourself a nice hot mug of broth and just keep going about your day. Still with us? Great. So the trailer begins with a badly damaged Razor Crest limping its way through space towards a watery planet that I think will come into play later in the trailer. Now this scene presumably follows the immediate aftermath of Season 1, in which Din Djarin and the child escape Moff Gideon and the Imperial Remnant on Nevarro. Now from there, we see the Mando and the wee baby Yoda on this weird graffiti-covered arid world that just screams seedy criminal underbelly. And the best part, it doesn't look like anywhere we've been before, so fingers crossed for a new planet. Next, we see a snippet of Tatooine, including a Tusken Raider atop a Bantha that kind of looks like it's providing the voiceover we hear. The Bantha's lip flap kind of matches.
Where?
Now, considering we know we'll encounter Boba Fett and Cobb Vanth this season, played by Tamira Morrison and Timothy Oliphant respectively, it makes sense why we're back on Tatooine. I mean, this suit of armor ain't big enough for the two of them, if you know what I'm saying. Things get considerably chillier as the Razor Crest descends into a massive trench on an icy world, and as tempting as it is for people to think this is Hoth, we think it's actually the planet Ilum, which you may recall from the Clone Wars and Jedi Fallen Order. So Ilum is a world best known for its crystal caves, where young Jedi would often go to gather kyber crystals by attuning themselves to the Force. However, by this point in the Star Wars timeline, the Jedi were long gone, and the Galactic Empire had begun transforming this world into Starkiller Base, hence the giant trench. And as Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have mentioned previously, The Mandalorian will explore the transition from the Empire to the First Order, so this could be a time period before the First Order swoops in, or one in which Din Djarin and the wee baby Yoda need to retrieve some sort of Jedi artifact, or maybe a kyber crystal before the planet is picked entirely clean. So as we transition from the ice planet to the considerably wetter world of what I'm hoping is Mon Cala given all the quarren, we hear in voiceover, the songs of eons past tell of battles between Mandalore the Great and an order of sorcerers called Jedi. And when the VO mentions Jedi, we see none other than WWE wrestler Sasha Banks in a hooded black robe. Many fans were quick to speculate that Sasha Banks is going to be playing the Mandalorian rebel Sabine Wren, and that could make for some fascinating and understandable connective tissue to Ahsoka Tano, who's also appearing this season. However, as my colleague Lindsay Romaine pointed out, there's an unused Dave Filoni Clone Wars plotline revolving around a mysterious female bounty hunter called Latrant, who would pose as a Jedi to try and kidnap and enslave Force-sensitive children. Now this could make for an excellent red herring in Season 2. While the Mando is trying to find these enemy sorcerers, he could encounter the real enemy as a wolf in sheep's clothing, or in this case, in Jedi's robes. Now, from This Is the Way, we transition to These Are the Waves, as we see our dynamic duo aboard a boat. Now, little do these Quarren sailors know, the true deadliest catch is standing right there on their poop deck, possibly also because he's a baby, and that's what they do. Poop. Then we see the Razor Crest being escorted by a pair of X-Wings, but given that their S-foils are in attack position, something tells me this might not be the friendliest of escorts, rather it might be the New Republic trying to get their hands on the child as well. So next up we get some brief shots of the Mando riding a speeder bike on what's presumably Tatooine. We see Cara Dune and Greef Karga chilling on Nevarro, but we also see the Imperial Remnant TIE fighters lifting off on Nevarro and scout troopers on speeder bikes driving off a cliff to give chase to the Mando through the volcanic canyons of Nevarro. Now, if you ask me, that might be Jason Sudeikis and Adam Pally's Baby Yoda punching troopers out for revenge after IG-11 beat the ever-loving crap out of them in Season 1, but on second thought, that might not be the case. They're probably dead or still floating in a bacta tank somewhere in traction because IG-11 really beat the crap out of them pretty badly. Moving on, we return to that graffiti-covered world from the trailer's beginning, and we see someone strung upside down from a lamppost, as well as a better look at the graffiti in the background, which looks like it includes some silly drawings of droids, including what I think is C-3PO. Next up, we see a fighting arena while two Gamorreans battle with vibro axes, while the Mando and the wee baby Yoda look on. Wherever I go, he goes, says the Mando, as we see a variety of extremely un-baby-friendly places. So I've heard, says a one-eyed alien before a crew of goons tries to get the drop on them. Well, the wee baby Yoda doesn't need to be Force-sensitive to understand what's about to happen. The child closes his crib while his dear papa introduces them to a world of hurt, especially that one dude who gets a knife through his chest. That's the way to get reconstructive surgery or a massive blood transfusion. And there you have it, folks. That's the trailer. We don't see any signs of characters like Moff Gideon, Ahsoka Tano, Commander Rex, Boba Fett, Bo-Katan, or any of the other familiar faces from the galaxy far, far away that have been teased for Season 2. And with a month and change to go until it premieres, well, I'm more than okay with waiting to see them in real time. We'll just have to wait and see what happens for ourselves when The Mandalorian Season 2 drops on Disney Plus on October 30th.
This is the way.
But in the meantime, tell us, what did you think of this trailer? Did you spot anything that we missed? Let's discuss in the comments below, and for the latest and greatest in the world of pop culture, make sure you stay tuned to Nerdist.com.